my precious weary one. Come, sit with me here in the quiet before we begin. I see you. I see the lists swirling in your mind, gifts to buy, meals to prepare, parties to attend, cards to send, decorations to hang. I see the financial pressure tightening like a band around your chest. I see the ache of missing loved ones, the strain of forced family gatherings, the loneliness that can feel even sharper when everyone else seems merry and bright. I see the exhaustion in your bones from another year of surviving, of striving, of just trying to keep your head above water. And now, on top of it all, the world is shouting that you must perform Christmas. It tells you that your home must look like a magazine spread, that your gifts must be thoughtful, generous, and Instagram-worthy, that your family must gather in perfect harmony, that your spirit must be endlessly cheerful. It is a symphony of more spending, more doing, more smiling, more being. And in the face of this symphony, your own heart is whispering, sometimes screaming, I have less energy, less patience, less money, less joy. Now, beloved, I want you to close your eyes with me for a moment. Block out the noise of the mall, the ads, the expectations, and travel with me in your spirit to a small, forgotten town called Bethlehem. Smell the air, not of pine and cinnamon, but of damp straw and animal dung. Hear the sounds, not of carols and laughter, but the lowing of cattle and the restless shuffle of sheep. See the light, not from a perfectly trimmed tree, but from a single flickering oil lamp, casting long shadows on rough stone walls. This is the manger. This is the first Christmas. Look at what is not there. There is no grandeur, no performance, no excess, no attempt to impress. There is a young girl, exhausted from travel and labor. There is a confused but faithful man. There are simple strips of cloth. And there is a feeding trough, repurposed as a cradle. This, my child, is my holy counter-narrative to the world's frenzy. While the world screams more, the manger whispers, enough. In that stable I declared, this place is enough for the King of Kings. I did not need a palace. Your humble, messy heart is enough for me. These simple cloths are enough for the God who robes himself in light. I do not require your perfect wrapping paper performances. This tired, new family is enough for the Savior of the world. I am not intimidated by your family's dysfunction or your own emotional fatigue. The contrast is staggering. The world's Christmas is built on addition, adding tasks, adding debt, adding stress. Heaven's Christmas was built on subtraction. I stripped away every layer of human majesty, every pretense of earthly power, and arrived in the most vulnerable, unadorned, essential form possible. A newborn child, completely dependent on the love of those around him. Why? Because I was speaking directly to you in your overwhelm. I was saying, your striving to create a perfect season is a burden I never asked you to carry. Your feeling that you are not enough, not happy enough, not generous enough, not festive enough, is the very lie I came to destroy. The manger is my manifesto of grace to the weary. It says, stop, breathe. You do not have to compete with the ghost of Christmas perfect. I am not found in the frenzy. I am found in the frailty. I did not come for the curated. I came for the crumbling. Your broken, tired, not enough heart is the very address I was looking for. So, as you enter this season, I invite you to hold this holy contrast. When the pressure mounts to do more, look to the manger and see the God who did everything with less. When the voice of inadequacy whispers, look to the swaddling clothes and see the infinite God who found them sufficient. The first Christmas gift was not a thing to be bought, but a person to be received. And he comes not to your perfect performance, but to your profound weariness. He is the enough in your not enough. Let that truth be the first candle you light this season. My beloved, we have seen the contrast. Now let us step inside the stable itself. Let us not romanticize it. Let us feel its reality. This was not a charming rustic barn from a painting. It was a cave or a lean-to used for animals. The air was thick. The ground was dirty. It was a place of lack, a last resort for a woman in labor when the inn had no room. This was the divinely chosen birthplace, and in this choice I carved an eternal truth into history. I am not repelled by your inadequacy. I am revealed in it. The stable is not a backdrop. It is the message. The invitation of Christmas is specifically issued to those who feel their lives are unstable, inadequate, messy, and unfit for a king. Consider what was inadequate about that night. The place was inadequate. No royal palace, no clean guest room, a borrowed space among beasts. I chose this to forever dismantle the idea that you must have your life perfectly cleaned, ordered, and presentable before I will enter. I do not wait for you to become a palace. I enter your stable. Your financial lack, your relational mess, your emotional clutter, these are not barriers to my entrance. They are the very reason for it. Your feeling of no room in your own soul, crowded with worry and fatigue, is the exact condition I came to address. The provisions were inadequate. Swaddling cloths, strips of simple fabric, a manger, a feeding trough. There was no fine linen, no ornate cradle. I accepted the most basic, humble provisions to demonstrate that my presence does not depend on your lavish offerings. You think you must come to me with polished prayers, lengthy devotionals, or grand acts of service. But I am satisfied with the swaddling cloths of your faith, simple, sometimes frayed, but offered in sincerity. Your weary whisper of, "God help me," is a sufficient cradle for my power. The people seemed inadequate. A teenage girl, likely scared and in pain. A carpenter doing his best but far from his support system. They were not theologians, priests, or royalty. They were ordinary, ill-equipped people thrust into an extraordinary situation. And they said yes. This is crucial. I used their yes, not their resume. Your sense of being unqualified, unprepared, and overwhelmed does not disqualify you from my purposes. It often prepares you for them. Your inadequacy is the empty space where my adequacy flows. The stable screams this truth. My glory is perfected in human weakness. I did not hide my son's entrance behind a veil of human sufficiency. I placed him squarely in the midst of it. Why? So that for all time, when you look at your own life and see only lack of strength, lack of wisdom, lack of peace, lack of joy, you would remember Bethlehem. You would remember that the fullness of God was pleased to dwell in the ultimate place of lack, so that in your lack you might find His fullness. So what is the stable in your life right now? Is it your bank account that feels empty and inadequate for the season's demands? The manger says, "I am your provision. The cattle on 1,000 hills are mine. Your empty trough is where I will place my bread of life." Is it your emotional capacity, drained, brittle, unable to muster festive cheer? The stable says, "I am your peace. I was born into turmoil so you could find rest in the midst of yours." Is it your sense of spiritual failure? Another year where you feel you haven't prayed enough, loved enough, grown enough? The swaddling cloths say, "I am your righteousness. You are wrapped not in your own achievements, but in my perfect love." The invitation in the inadequate is this: bring me your stable. Do not apologize for its smell, its mess, its lack. Do not try to disguise it as an inn. I know it is a stable, and I have chosen it as my dwelling place. Your point of greatest lack is my point of entry. This Christmas, the world will try to sell you a fantasy of abundance, overflowing tables, heaps of gifts, picture-perfect smiles. Do not let it shame your stable. Instead, look at the humble manger and hear my voice. You are not too messy for me. You are not too poor in spirit. You are not too tired. In fact, your admitted inadequacy is the only proper reception for a God who comes as a vulnerable gift. Your stable is not a problem. It is the portal. Welcome me there, my beloved. Now let's look at the first people to receive the Christmas invitation. Not kings in palaces, not priests in temples, not the well-rested and the well-respected. The angelic announcement, the first Christmas Eve service, was held for shepherds, night shift workers, men who smelled like sheep dung and campfire smoke. In the religious culture of the day, they were considered perpetually unclean due to their work, unable to fully participate in temple rituals. They were the tired, the overlooked, the ones on the margins. And to them, the glory of the Lord shone around, and the angel said, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord." Why shepherds? In this divine choice I gave you a permanent blueprint, a living parable of who my Christmas invitation is for. It is a preferential option for the weary. Let's break down why they are your mirror. First, they were keeping watch. They were doing the tedious, unseen work of vigilance. They were keeping watch over their flocks at night. Isn't that you? Keeping watch over your family through sleepless nights of worry? Keeping watch over your fragile peace, trying to guard it from the wolves of anxiety and despair? Keeping watch over a dream that seems to be sleeping, not moving? Your weary vigilance has not gone unnoticed. In fact, it has positioned you perfectly. The announcement comes not to those who are asleep in comfort, but to those who are awake in the dark, doing the hard work of faithful watching, even when they don't know what they're watching for. Second, they were familiar with inadequacy. A shepherd's tools were a staff and a sling. Their defense against lions and bears was their own courage and wits. They were not mighty warriors. They were ordinary men in constant proximity to danger and lack. They knew what it was to feel insufficient for the task. I come to those who have run out of their own resources, who know they cannot protect their own flock, their health, their children, their sanity, through another season. Your admitted inadequacy is not a barrier to the gospel. It is the prerequisite. The good news is for you. Third, they were ritually unclean on the outside. Their work made them religiously marginalized. They couldn't tick the boxes of ceremonial purity. Do you feel on the outside this Christmas? Like everyone else has the joy and peace that the cards talk about, but you feel stained by your past, your grief, your struggle. The angels did not appear in the temple to the pristine. They appeared in a field to the unclean. The message is clear. My grace does not require you to clean yourself up first. It meets you in the field of your defilement and declares you worthy of the announcement. Fourth, they responded with immediate, humble action. They didn't say, "Let's wait until morning." They didn't say, "We're not dressed properly." They said, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened." They left their flocks, their livelihood, their responsibility, in the middle of the night to seek a baby in a feed box. This is the response of the weary who have nothing left to lose. When you are exhausted by your own efforts, the invitation to come and see feels like a lifeline, not another task. You are willing to drop the pretense, to leave behind what everyone expects you to tend, and run with desperate hope to the place of humble beginnings. Fifth, they became the first evangelists. After they saw him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child. Who better to testify of a Messiah who comes to the lowly than the lowly themselves? Your testimony, forged in the weariness of your night watch, is powerful. You are not disqualified from sharing hope because you are struggling. You are uniquely qualified. You can say, "I was in the field, tired and feeling unseen, and God met me there." My precious one, see yourself in the shepherds. You are not an accident at the Christmas story. You are the intended audience. Your fatigue is your credential. Your feeling of being on the outside is your invitation. Your night watch has prepared you to recognize the dawn. The world's Christmas party might seem to be for the happy, the whole, the shiny, and the successful. But the real Christmas invitation, the one heralded by angel armies, was hand-delivered to people who were none of those things. It was delivered to people exactly like you. So tonight, in the quiet of your own night watch, hear the angelic word spoken over you, the weary shepherd of your own troubled soul. Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that is for you. Today a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find him wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger. The sign is not grandeur. The sign is identification. He is in the place of humble provision. He is in the form of vulnerable humanity. He is where you are. Go and see. Your weariness is not a hindrance. It is the road that leads to Bethlehem. My beloved. Now I want to take you on a journey, not to a busy mall or a stressful family gathering, but to the stable. We have understood the invitation. Now let us respond to it. This is a holy moment of transfer. You have been carrying burdens, some for so long their weight feels like part of your body. The manger is not just a place to look, it is a place to unload. Find a quiet space, settle your body, breathe deeply. We are going to the manger together, not as observers, but as participants. Close your eyes. Imagine the scene from the shepherd's perspective. You've just run from the fields, heart pounding from the angelic encounter. You push aside a simple cloth covering the entrance to a cave stable. The air is warm, thick with the smell of animals and hay. The light is dim from a single oil lamp, and there, in a stone trough lined with straw, you see him, a newborn, wrapped tightly in simple strips of cloth. His parents, tired but radiant, look at you not with suspicion, but with a knowing wonder as if they were expecting you. Now I want you to step into that scene. You are not a distant observer. You are there. Feel the packed earth under your feet. Hear the soft sounds of the animals. See the gentle light playing on the face of the Christ child. Now, look down at your own hands. What are you carrying? Not physical objects, but the burdens of your soul. I want you to see them, one by one. Give them a shape, a weight, a name. First, see the burden of financial pressure. It feels like a heavy, cold chain around your neck, pulling your shoulders down. See the anxiety over bills, the guilt over what you can't give, the fear of the new year. Feel its weight. Now, in your spirit, walk to the manger. The baby's hands are small, open, receptive. Lay that cold chain of financial fear into the straw beside him. He was born into poverty, so you could be born into the riches of his care. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Leave it with him. Watch it dissolve in the light of his presence. Say, I lay down my financial burden. You are my provider. Next, see the burden of relational strain. It feels like a tangled, thorny vine wrapped around your heart, each thorn a sharp word, a disappointment, a loneliness. See the difficult family member, the broken friendship, the longing for connection. Feel its constriction. Now bring that thorny vine to the manger. This baby is called Emmanuel, God with us. He came into a family to redeem all families. Place the tangled vine at the foot of the trough. Watch as the thorns soften and the vines unwind, becoming harmless. Say, I lay down my relational burden. You are my peace. Now, see the burden of exhaustion. It feels like a heavy, wet cloak draped over your entire being, soaking you in weariness. It's the fatigue from a long year, from sleepless nights, from carrying too much for too long. Feel its soggy, draining weight. Bring that cloak to the manger. This baby is the rest for your souls that I promised. Unclasp it from your shoulders. Lay the wet, heavy cloak of exhaustion over the side of the manger. See it dry out in the warmth of this holy place, becoming light. Say, I lay down my exhaustion. You are my rest. See the burden of perfectionism and performance. It feels like a mask of polished stone over your face, rigid and cold, forcing you to smile when you want to cry, to perform when you want to collapse. Feel its pressure. Bring that stone mask to the manger. This baby was wrapped in simple cloths, not royal robes. He came in vulnerability, not performance. Place the mask in the straw. See it crack and crumble, revealing your true, tired, beloved face underneath. Say, I lay down my performance. You are my enough. Finally, see the burden of grief and loss. It feels like a heavy, dark stone in the pit of your stomach, the ache for someone who is gone, the sorrow for what was or what never will be. Feel its solid, aching weight. Bring that stone to the manger. This baby is the man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. He came to bear our griefs and carry our sorrows. Place the stone of your grief beside him. Watch as he, the Word made flesh, speaks to it, and it becomes not a stone of death, but a seed of hope, waiting for resurrection. Say, I lay down my grief. You are my comfort. Look at your hands now. They are empty. Feel the space where the weight used to be. Now, look at the manger. It is not just a cradle, it is an altar. And on this altar you have laid your burdens. Now, with empty hands, receive. The baby's hands are still open. What does he offer you? Not more burdens, but gifts. He offers you peace in place of pressure, healing in place of hurt, rest in place of weariness, acceptance in place of performance, comfort in place of grief. Receive them. Let them fill the spaces the burdens left behind. Breathe deeply. The air in the stable is the breath of new beginnings. When you are ready, open your eyes. You have been to the manger. You have laid it down. The burdens you brought are not yours to pick up again. They remain at the altar. You walk away lighter, freer, carrying only the gifts he gave you in exchange. This is the Christmas transaction. Your weariness for his rest, your lack for his provision, your grief for his comfort. The manger is open for business, and your burdens are the currency he accepts. My precious one, you have laid your burdens down. Now, with empty hands and a lighter heart, we address the great disease of the modern Christmas season, the tyranny of performance. The belief that this season must be produced, curated, and perfected. That your worth is tied to the flawless execution of traditions, the generosity of your gifts, the warmth of your hospitality, and the constant cheerfulness of your demeanor. This belief turns a season of receiving a gift into a marathon of giving performances. And if you are weary, this belief is a whip on your back. Today, I speak a liberating word from the manger. I do not want your performance. I want your presence. Look again at the nativity scene. What performances were required? Did Mary host a perfect gender reveal party or a meticulously planned baby shower? No. She gave birth in a stable. Did Joseph produce a safe, comfortable, Instagram-worthy nursery? No. He found a feeding trough. Did the shepherds arrive with elegant, expensive gifts perfectly wrapped? No. They came with nothing but their own awestruck, smelly, tired selves. Did the angels demand a choreographed worship service from the humans before they would announce the news? No. They proclaimed to shepherds in a field who were doing their ordinary, messy work. The first Christmas was conspicuously devoid of human performance. It was overflowing with divine presence. The performance was all on my side. The orchestration of the census, the alignment of the star, the angelic host, the miracle of the virgin birth. Humanity's role was simply to be present and to receive. Mary received the word. Joseph received the dream. The shepherds received the announcement and then came to see. The wise men received the guidance of the star. Christmas is fundamentally about receptivity, not productivity. Yet you have been taught the opposite. You believe you must produce joy, produce peace, produce a perfect experience for others. And when your internal resources are dry, This demand becomes a source of profound guilt and shame. You look at your tired heart, your limited budget, your fractured family, and you think, I have nothing to offer. My Christmas will be inadequate. But the manger redefines offering. The only thing the Holy Family had to offer was their obedient presence. The only thing the stable had to offer was its available space. The only thing the manger had to offer was its hollowed-out emptiness. And these, presence, availability, emptiness, were exactly what I needed. Your weary, empty, available heart is the very offering I seek. This year, I invite you to a performance-free Christmas. What does that look like? It means you give yourself permission to be rather than to do. If you are too tired to bake, buy cookies. If you cannot afford lavish gifts, give the gift of time, a letter, a prayer. If you cannot muster false cheer, it is okay to be quietly peaceful or even honestly sad in my presence. I came for the real you, not the festive avatar you feel pressured to create. It means you shift your goal from creating an experience to cultivating an awareness. Instead of striving to make Christmas magical for everyone else, focus on becoming aware of my presence with you. In the quiet morning with your coffee, in the frustrated drive in traffic, in the lonely moment at the party. Christmas is not a show you stage. It is a reality you acknowledge. God is here, with me, now. It means you receive before you strive. Before you rush into the day's tasks, stop. Sit. Breathe. Receive the truth. The Savior is born for me. Let that be the first gift you open each day. Your doing will flow from your being, not the other way around. A performance-based Christmas asks, what must I do? A presence-based Christmas asks, what has He done? And then, how can I abide in that? The wise men performed in their journey, but their performance ended at the feet of Jesus. There they did not perform. They worshipped. They presented gifts, but the gifts were symbols of surrender, not achievements. They offered what they had, but the centerpiece was their posture, faces to the ground, in awe of presence. My beloved, your greatest gift to me this Christmas is not a perfect holiday, but a present heart, a heart that stops, that sits at the manger, that says, I have nothing impressive to offer. I am tired. I am flawed. I am here. That is the offering I came for. That is the space I fill. So lay down the script. Step off the stage. The spotlight of heaven is not on your performance. It is on a baby in a manger. And He is looking at you, not to critique your production, but to invite you into His rest. Your presence is the present He wants most. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. Your weary, unperforming presence is the sweetest worship the manger receives. My precious one, we have laid down burdens and abandoned performance. Now we arrive at the core need of your soul, rest. Not just physical sleep, though you may need that too, but the deep, cellular, spiritual rest that heals the fractures in your soul. The world's Christmas is a cacophony. Jingling bells, blaring music, crowded stores, and the constant inner chatter of your to-do list. But the first Christmas night, after the angels departed and the shepherds went on their way, what descended upon that stable? A holy silence. A silent night. This is not a sentimental idea. It is a spiritual reality I offer you now. The chance to find rest in the eye of your holiday storm, because the Prince of Peace is in the center of it with you. Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. These lyrics describe a miracle. Outside that stable, the world was anything but calm. The Roman Empire ruled with oppressive force. Taxes were crushing. Injustice was rampant. Mary and Joseph were displaced, homeless and recovering from trauma. Yet, around that child, a pocket of divine calm existed, a sanctuary of silence. That is what I offer you today, not the absence of external chaos, but an internal sanctuary of peace that exists because Christ is in you. You can be in a hectic kitchen, a stressful family gathering, or a lonely apartment, and in your spirit, visit the stable. You can enter the silent night within. How do you find this rest when your world is loud and your heart is weary? First, you must differentiate between solitude and isolation. Isolation is loneliness. It drains you. Solitude is intentional presence with me. It fills you. The stable was a place of solitude for Mary. In the midst of the strange and overwhelming, she treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She created an inner chamber of silence to process the wonder. You must do the same. For 5 minutes today, shut a door. Put down your phone. Close your eyes. Don't pray long prayers, just be silent with me. Let the noise of demands fall away, and in the quiet, remember, the Savior is here, with me, in this room, in my chaos. That is holy solitude. Second, embrace the rest of surrender, not the fatigue of defeat. Your weariness is often the exhaustion of resistance, resisting your limits, resisting reality, resisting my timing. The rest I offer is the relief of surrendering the fight. It is letting your clenched fists open and saying, I can't manage this. I can't fix this. I can't feel this. I give it to you. The baby in the manger is the ultimate picture of surrendered strength, the omnipotent God, helpless in human arms. His strength was made perfect in that surrendered weakness. Your rest will come when you stop trying to be the strong one and allow yourself to be the held one. Surrender to my care. Let me hold you in the silent night of your spirit. Third, let the carol be your mantra. Silent night, holy night. In a moment of overwhelm, whisper it. Let the words anchor you. Silent. I am calling your spirit to stillness. Night. I am with you in your darkness, your unknown. Holy. This moment, as ordinary or messy as it is set apart because I am in it. All is calm. This is a declaration of faith over your circumstances. All is bright. My light is shining in you, even if you can't see it. Use this hymn as a tiny sanctuary. You can step into anywhere, anytime. This holy rest is not a reward for finishing your tasks. It is the fuel to do them from a place of peace, not panic. It is the still waters I lead you beside to restore your soul in the middle of the valley. You don't have to wait until December 26th to collapse. You can collapse into me today. Imagine your soul as that stable. Outside, the noises of the world, the expectations, the memories, the fears, are like the sounds of the town, distant but present. Inside, it is quiet. A single lamp of faith burns, and in the center, on the altar of your surrendered will, lies Christ. Your worries are the animals in the corner, present, but no longer the focus. The focus is Him. The air is peace. This inner stable is always accessible. It is your birthright as one in whom Christ dwells. So tonight, when the world is loud, or when the quiet of your house feels heavy, I invite you to step into the silent night. Light a candle, literal or metaphorical. Breathe. Say, Prince of Peace, I enter your rest. I swap my weariness for your wonder, my chaos for your calm, my night for your holy light. And then, be still. Don't ask for anything. Just be present in the presence. Let the holy hush of that first Christmas night fill the chambers of your heart. For in that silence, you will hear the only thing you ever really needed to know. I am here, and my presence is your peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. My beloved, we have walked the path from overwhelm to the manger's edge. We have seen the contrast, felt the invitation in our inadequacy, stood with the shepherds, laid down our burdens, traded performance for presence, and found the silent night within. Now we arrive at the decisive moment. The invitation has been issued. The question remains, how will you RSVP? This is not about adding a spiritual task to your list. It is about a simple, profound turning. A yes whispered from your weary heart to mine. This is your personal Christmas invitation, and today you learn how to accept it. An RSVP is a response. It says, I have received your invitation, and I will be there. Your yes to this Christmas invitation is not about attending a church service, though that may be good. It is about attending to the Christ in the midst of your season. It is about shifting your primary focus from the event of Christmas to the person of Christmas. Here is how you do it. First, you RSVP with your attention. In the coming days, your attention will be pulled in 100 directions. The RSVP is the deliberate choice to give the first and best of your attention to me. Upon waking, before checking your phone, give me 60 seconds. Say, Jesus, I am here. Thank you for being with me. I receive your presence today. When stress mounts, pause and direct your attention inward to the stable of your spirit. Whisper, Emmanuel. This simple redirecting of attention is your yes. It says, I choose to see you in this moment. Second, you RSVP with your acceptance. Accept the gift of grace as it is offered, without condition, without you having to clean up first. The shepherds didn't shower and change robes. They came as they were. Your yes means you stop trying to make yourself more acceptable, and you simply accept that you are accepted. In your fatigue, in your lack, in your mess, you are the intended guest. Say, I accept your invitation to come as I am. I accept your rest as my right as your child. I accept that I am enough because you are enough in me. Third, you RSVP with a small, tangible act. Faith without works is dead, and your yes needs feet. But the act is not a grand performance. It is a small, deliberate choice that aligns with the spirit of the manger. It could be the act of saying no to one unnecessary event to protect your peace. The act of sitting still for 10 minutes instead of doing one more thing. The act of giving a gift of kindness instead of a stressful, expensive present. The act of speaking a word of grace instead of joining in gossip or complaint. This small act is your RSVP in action. It is you living from the manger's values rather than the mall's demands. Your RSVP changes everything. It moves you from being a harried holiday manager to being an honored guest at the king's birthday. Your role is no longer to make everything perfect. Your role is to receive the perfect gift. The pressure lifts because the host has taken responsibility for the party. Your only job is to show up, heart open, hands empty, ready to receive. So, picture this. The invitation is in your hand. It is written not on fine paper, but on the pages of your own weary story. It says, you are cordially invited to a celebration of rest. Guest of honor, the Prince of Peace. Venue, the manger within your own heart. Time, this very moment. Attire, come as you are. RSVP, your whispered yes. How will you respond? You can say, I'm too busy, and leave the invitation on the counter, buried under to-do lists. Or you can pick it up, hold it to your heart, and say, yes, I will come. I choose your rest over my rush. I choose your presence over my performance. I choose your stable over my striving. I am here. That yes is the most important gift you will give or receive this season. It is the key that unlocks the silent night in your soul. It is the beginning of a Christmas lived from the inside out. The angels sang, peace on earth. That peace lands not on nations first, but in the hearts of individuals who say yes to the invitation. Let peace land in you. Let this Christmas be the one where you stopped celebrating a holiday and started inhabiting a reality. God is with us, and He is with me. Your weary heart is not a mistake. It is the address to which the invitation was mailed. He came for you. Now, come to Him. If this message has been your personal invitation to a different kind of Christmas, a Christmas of rest, presence, and peace, then you now hold a gift too precious to keep to yourself. you have the opportunity to become a bearer of this same invitation to other weary souls. Let's make this your truest act of Christmas giving. 1. Accept the invitation. Daily, subscribe and hit the bell. Make this channel your daily reminder of the manger's peace. Your subscription is your ongoing RSVP, a choice to keep your heart tuned to the real message amidst the seasonal noise. 2. Sow the seed of rest. Use Super Chat. Did this series give you permission to lay down burdens you've carried for years? Anchor that freedom with a seed of faith. When you sow financially into this ministry, you are investing in the creation of more content that offers true rest, not more holiday frenzy. Your seed declares, "This peace must spread. I am helping to send this invitation to countless other overwhelmed hearts." It activates a divine cycle where your own peace deepens as you help secure it for others. 3. Join the sanctuary. Become a member. If you are ready to move from simply receiving rest to becoming a sanctuary of rest for others, your place is here. Our membership is the Sanctuary Circle. Here you'll get exclusive teaching on sustaining peace beyond the holidays, live monthly, restorative prayer sessions, and a private community of believers committed to living from the manger, not the mall. This is for those who say, "I will build my life and ministry on His rest." Your yes to rest is a sacred trust. Now invest it. Click subscribe to keep your RSVP active. Use Super Chat to sow the seed of heavenly peace. Become a member of the Sanctuary Circle. As you respond, pray this: "Prince of Peace, I say yes to your rest. I accept your invitation to the manger of my heart. I sow my seed as an act of faith in your provision of peace. Multiply it into a harvest of calm, joy, and true worship in my life, and in the lives of all who are weary. Amen." The invitation is yours. You have RSVP'd yes. Now live from the party.